Welcome to a Lawless Podcast, where real stories come to life. Broadcasting from the tri-state area, Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New Jersey, we're just one stop away from the DMV, bringing you raw, unfiltered conversations that matter. At a Lawless Podcast, we bridge cultures and communities, connecting people from all backgrounds and walks of life.
Come on in. Welcome to Olalu's podcast. I want to welcome our listeners. And my name is Lorna. I'm going to be our host for this evening. And I have a beautiful panel of guests, and most importantly, intelligent and capable. And I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves. We'll start with G.
Hi, everybody. I am Carmen, a.k.a. G. I am the founder of Herbal Slim. I am a cosmetologist, and I'm also working on launching another salon in Delaware. So be looking out for us. But I am here, and I'm happy to be here.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Sir?
Why am I the only man that's...
I don't know, but we won't know that you are until you introduce yourself.
I'm a guy.
He's a man, everybody.
I'm a manly man. I am a whole guy.
Whole guy.
JJ Moore.
Okay.
Wilmington Creative Studio, Olado Podcast.
Okay.
You know, Watson Production.
Okay.
So we're still here. I met you before, so.
Yeah, we've met before.
Yeah.
But the people, we want to make sure the people
All
know
right,
who you are.
JJ Moore.
JJ Moore. Okay, welcome, JJ. Welcome.
Thank you.
Ma'am.
And my name is Maddie. I'm here for a very important topic that I'm happy to throw light on.
So let us get into the
hopefully that
topic.
will
We
help.
want to get into the topic in just a few minutes. Anything else you want to tell us about yourself?
No.
No. Nothing. All right. So Maddie started to touch on the topic. So this evening, everybody, we're going to be talking about erectile dysfunction, specifically in people of color. Okay.
It's a taboo.
Huh?
That's a taboo topic.
Is it a taboo?
Oh, yeah, it's a taboo
think
topic.
so?
People don't talk about it.
All right. Well, let's first make sure that all of our listeners and everybody out there watching us know what erectile dysfunction is. So I'm going to defer to the expert.
Uh-oh.
The expert in the room.
The expert in the building.
Other than the person with the penis.
What erectile
Other than the
dysfunction
person-
But
is.
I want to defer to the expert.
Oh, the person with what?
Huh?
Other than the person with the what?
Other than the person with the penis in the room.
Oh.
So technically you are the expert, but we're going to go with G on this one.
Okay.
And then G, when you tell us what erectile dysfunction is, let us know why I called you the expert.
Well, I don't want to be classified as the expert. But, I stumbled across this issue because I have personally dealt with this in a previous life, and I'm going to leave it there. I'm not trying to put nobody's business outside.
You don't want to give us no names.
Nah.
The listeners want to know, honey.
But, this was something that directly impacted my personal life. And also being a beautician, working with so many other women, this topic was coming up. But it didn't start from there. It actually started off with my weight loss journey that led me into thinking of the impact of weight on men, because I didn't just want to leave the men out of this process I was on, because the product worked more for women and men, but
Right.
a lot of women were coming in than the men.
Okay.
But I also understood that there was a need for us to pay attention to the men, because I was looking out for my sisters. It was more for the women, to be honest with you, because with everything, when the women are not happy, nobody's happy.
That's true.
So I'll leave it right there for now.
Right.
We'll come back.
Happy wife, happy life, right?
Yes.
Okay. So tell us about the product that you have now that works with erectile dysfunction.
So erectile dysfunction, I'll leave my erectile man and put him one side. And then I'm going to go into the rest of the product and tie it all in together.
Okay.
So when we started this journey, it started with me. I am the face of Herbal Slim.
Okay.
I started this process because I had this need to lose weight. And so many other women, if you go in the beauty salon, that's everybody talk about, oh my God, I think I gained 10 pounds, I gained this. It's such a topic that everybody seems to be struggling with. And it's not just about the weight. For me, it was more about my mental health because the impact of my weight was affecting my mental health. And it became very serious because I was like, oh my God, I'm not feeling myself. I don't feel beautiful. And that affects us in the bedroom. When a woman don't feel sexy, you know, she put on anything, it don't look good.
Right.
So I was on this quest to gain back myself from the person that I was before.
Okay.
So
How did that tie into erectile dysfunction?
it actually came into place because as I saw the impact of the weight issue, then I was like, oh my God, when men gain weight, you know, the extension of the gut and all of this, that heaviness reduces their ability to perform.
Yes.
It affects their stamina. So I was really thinking it's affecting us women because I wasn't so focused on the men and what it wasn't doing. But I was thinking about us women again that, well, when the men are not performing, we are the one that's getting the short end of the stick. So I started really marketing erectile men to the women, like, girl, take a little bottle home, you know, get your man to, you know. So I was marketing to the men because I understood that a lot of men are not comfortable having this conversation. So I couldn't go up to the men and be like, oh, I have a bottle of, you know, this product that can help you gain back your stamina or make you go longer.
They may not have responded to you, honey.
No, there was not. So I knew that if I approached the women,
Okay.
the women would have moved this into their bedroom. And I'm like, don't do it in a way like you're trying to make your man feel like he's not good enough.
Okay.
But
Okay, hold that thought for 1 second because we're going to get all into that one in 1 second. I know that Maddie, you wanted to weigh in on erectile dysfunction.
And Maddie is the registered nurse.
I wanted to talk about what it is in the first place because we cannot be talking about, you know, product and what helps with it without knowing what erectile dysfunction is. So first of all, erectile dysfunction is when a man does not sustain erection for satisfactory sexual intercourse. And it is very common. We might think it is a common issue among men, but it's hard to know because men don't talk about it that much. And basically because of the stigma, the shame it brings to men, so men don't really talk about the erectile dysfunctions. It is caused by, it can be temporary because I don't think any man can tell me they have not experienced erectile dysfunction, but it becomes problematic when it's chronic. So when it becomes chronic, then that's a problem because stress, long day of work can cause erectile dysfunction, honestly. So, but when it is chronic, then that's how the man is supposed to have that conversation, that communication with their partner. But like I said, most of the time men they have that guilt. It takes away their masculinity. You know, they think they are lesser of a man. So it's hard to bring up those conversations with their wife. And at the same time, they don't know the impact that it creates in the home.
So what are you mentioned that stress and other things can cause temporary erectile dysfunction? What are some things that can cause chronic erectile dysfunction?
So there are illnesses like diabetes, high blood pressure, those kind of illnesses that are part of that is highly diagnosed within our kind of communities. That really causes erectile dysfunction. And when the man starts to experience it, it's like I said, it brings shame to them. They think they are not performing. Men want to show their vigor in the bedroom, right? They want to show that they are this guy, this soft man in the room. And once they experience, like I said, it's not that they are not having an erection, but it's not just consistent for them to give intercourse. And they feel lesser of a man when that happens. And that becomes problematic because if you don't have a conversation with your wife is feeling rejected. So the impact that will create in the marriage that's what I guess we're talking about, including what will help.
Oh, we're going to talk about that a lot, honey.
There you go.
So anything else you want to say about what erectile dysfunction is and what actually causes it? And okay, I want to be more specific. What do you have to say to men of color about what they can do to prevent it? Because we're gonna talk to G about her product, but I want to know. We want to know what we can do before we get to G's product. So what can men do to prevent erectile dysfunction? So
there are so many ways. Prevent. Actually, we need to know that it is curable. It is something that can be cured, right? Through therapies, through medications. I'm not advertising any clinical things, but it is something that therapy can work on.
A lot of psychosexual therapy.
Right, that it will work on, and it can be like physical and emotional. So physical well-being and emotional well-being of the man can affect their functionality in the bedroom. So if it's from therapies, having just you, the woman, being supportive of your husband, because you are the one who you might experience it actually, because you know that there was erection and then there was nothing after a few seconds. You experience. You have to have a conversation with.
That's if they started with one.
Right. If they are not having the conversation, then you can bridge that respectfully with your partner.
So I happen to be in the field too. I'm a nurse as well. So I think, before we got started, we were talking about diabetes.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was saying that, we tend not to, diabetes, they call it the silent killer. So a lot of the times people don't really feel sick, so they don't treat it the way that they should. And in practice, that's how I have always gotten men to treat their diabetes. Do you know what's going to happen to your penis? They don't care about going blind. They don't care about losing their foot.
They just care
about.
But
if you tell a man that he's going to lose his ability to have sex, they tend to take care of themselves a little bit better. And then we'll get more into the weight loss aspect of it too. Right. What's up, Jay?
What's
Jay?
So
penis in the house.
So
penis
from
in the house,
certain medications that they are on too. Certain medications causes erectile dysfunction.
From a man's standpoint,
because I want to hear from JJ for 1 second.
So
I have a very specific question.
I'm a man. I got penis, of course. You know. So,
but I have a specific question for you, JJ.
Go ahead.
You ready for it?
I'm ready for the question.
All right, now. So, wow, Maddie was talking about the emotional aspects of erectile dysfunction. Okay, and I know I was speaking to a gentleman earlier in the week, and he was talking about experiencing erectile dysfunction with specific women. So in other words, can't get it up for one woman, but then he's able to get it up for another.
So I think it's all psychological too.
Okay.
It's all psychological, but it's a stigma that men don't usually talk about ED, but especially in the African community, in the African American community, people don't talk about ED at all because it's such a shame to know that you can perform and it becomes a stigma and people know you and stuff like that. But if we talk about the psychological effect it have on a man, like for example, you can't perform in bed and your mind. So most of the time you're thinking about this how short lasting the sex is. and it becomes short. Like I'm thinking I'm gonna ejaculate so fast, I'm gonna ejaculate fast because it's a mental thing.
Okay,
like trying to hold it back, and
so
that's when it's gonna happen.
I just want to make sure that the listeners are following you and I'm following you.
So people think about it.
Okay,
if you think about it, if you experience it once, you're having sex the next time, and you're like, oh, I'm not going to experience this again. Premature ejaculation, it's going to happen.
I got you
right away because it's psychological. It's in the mind. So a lot of people don't want to call the doctor. A lot of people want to say, "Oh, I want to see my doctor." Especially, you got a female doctor. I got a female doctor. I have a lot of conversation with my doctor about my body and everything. I had to change my lifestyle sometimes, so that because your lifestyle too affects a lot of things you do.
Tell us about those lifestyle changes.
If you're a heavy drinker, you drink a lot.
Yeah,
you're gonna have ED.
Okay.
If you take too much sugar in your body, you're gonna have ED. If you don't exercise, you're gonna have ED. So the more body fat you got, the more erectile dysfunction happen to you. So you have to think about who you are as a person and how it affects your personality, how it affects your manhood as a, so you change. A lot of men don't want to change. They're going to fix it temporarily, which taking Viagra or just taking some product right away just to fix that. But it's a lifestyle.
Okay.
It's a lifestyle. You got to make it a lifestyle.
Okay.
You got to know in your mind that I need help, and there's going to be a lifestyle. Although medication is there, but what medication is temporary and what the long lasting. That's why the pharmaceutical company made more than two medications when it comes to, they got Viagra, they got Cialis. So people take Viagra just temporarily.
Right.
It's not every day. Cialis, they give it to you every day.
Right.
It become a lifestyle. You take it like you're taking blood pressure pill.
Right.
So that every day when you're ready to have sex.
Every day when you're ready to have sex.
Yeah, every day when you have sex.
JJ, how you getting down?
I was young.
Listeners want to know.
I was young. I was young before.
Okay,
I'm older now, so it's like, and because of that, because of ED, men shying away from sex.
Okay.
Then the more you last not having sex, the more you just don't care about sex because you're afraid that that's going to happen to you instead of fixing the problem.
So I have another question for you.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to shoot over to G because I got one for you too, girl. I ain't thinking about you. So what can we do? I know Maddie mentioned that.
Stop stressing the man up.
Well, I didn't ask the question yet.
Stop stressing.
That's a topic for another day.
Stop stressing.
JJ, that's
stop stressing your man. The more you stress your man.
JJ, you are bold because you are one man in a panel full of women. You sure you want to go there? No.
I was about to say,
that was not the question, sir. The question is, Maddie mentioned, she talked about us, basically approaching our men if you're in a relationship with someone that is experiencing erectile dysfunction. So what would be the best way for us to do that?
Don't gossip about it. Talk directly to your man.
Oh, so don't tell your
homegirl. Don't tell your homegirl, oh, he's a 1 minute man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah. Wow.
If you tell your homegirl 1 minute man, guess what? Your homegirl going to sleep with him. He's going to be 30-minute man.
How about it? And that's what that gentleman was talking about.
Yeah, you're stressing him out. So emotionally, it's already like bound to man.
Right.
Like he cannot last in bed.
Right.
Then the shame come with it. By you discussing it. Discuss it. Be direct. Discuss with him.
Right.
Like, my man, why you keep, coming like 1 minute? Why you a 1 minute man? You would never like that. What happened?
Right.
You're stressing me out. I'll tell him, you're stressing me out. Stop stressing me out. Then I might last in bed. Or be a good person to me.
Wow.
Care about me personally, and stuff like that. So for a man's standpoint, just talk to me directly.
Right.
Talk to me directly and respectfully.
And lovingly.
Don't curse me out. Now we're making plot. They say, look at you, you're 1 minute, man. Yeah, so, then it becomes a joke.
So I think that would be difficult for even the most mature adults to have that conversation. And I know that G had mentioned earlier, she touched on therapy a little bit, and I think that you might need somebody to help you, a professional, not your, unless your pastor is a professional, but not your father-in-law, not your mother-in-law, not your sister-in-law. But
let's go to therapy. Let's hold your man hand. Let's go to your doctor. Let's go to our doctor. Let's go talk about it because I want to enjoy sex. So let's go to our doctor. You know, be mature enough to tell your man, let's go to a doctor.
Can I
Let's
please
talk
say
about
something
it.
to JJ?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Then you come back.
Now you come over here and want me to fix it.
With your little broken penis.
Please go over there and let them have
Take your
it.
broken penis.
so
what are you gonna do if I got a question?
Hold on 1 second.
Right.
Hold on. 1 second. I want to give Maddie.
Go ahead, Maddie.
I mean, I know Jay is the only male
Yeah,
here,
you know,
so,
we're not trying to go too
but
hard.
I'm trying to speak on the perspective of a man, right? When it comes to having a happy home, it just does not come from a man.
Yeah.
It's mutual.
Yes.
It's a mutual thing. So creating an environment of a peaceful, thriving home, it's for both people that lives in that relationship. That being said, when he says, "Oh, don't stress me," stress is real. It comes from everywhere. It comes from your partner. It can come from the man. It can come from the woman. And as you said, the men have to create an environment where the woman can thrive. That's true. But at the same time, some women, it's just hard to create that environment for them.
Definitely.
That's true.
Whatever you do is just
Not good enough.
it's not good enough.
Yeah.
So if the man is not in an appreciative relationship as well, because they are human, we cannot look at them as if they don't have feelings.
Right.
They do have feelings. So it's mutual. We create that mutual because, like I said, the ED can be physical and it can be psychological impact. We don't know what creates that when there is tension in the home. One time your man was performing very well in the bedroom or sexually, and then down the line you see he starts to have erectile dysfunction.
So it sounds like we all going to have to do our parts to keep these penises hard.
That's correct. That's correct. Yeah, that's
Lorna,
correct.
I got a question.
Because they can be, like I said, if you take the one that is temporary, right?
The temporary
they can
one.
be in the mood, but something can just throw them off, and then that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I can be having sex, right? And I think about some toxic stuff that you just did to me.
Right.
I just lose.
And I think that's hard for us.
Like, I'm
because
done.
especially, you know, in our youth, in our younger days, like
Yeah.
when you guys were in your prime,
Yeah.
women, we kind of just think that you're ever ready, right? Like all I have to do is
Yes.
blow on it.
You gotta
You
start-
ready?
you gotta-
ready.
you gotta start the
'Cause
engine
That's how it
there.
was, right? But now we're a little bit older. and
Push
there's,
and
some
start.
other aspects that go into it. What did you want to say, G? You said
You know, I was trying to light on something she said that, you know, about being in the mood, right? And not always not just using a product to fix the problem, but sometimes a product can jumpstart the process. So when the process is already this far down and there's no more connection happening,
Right.
because you can even get that 30 seconds, introducing a product that can reconnect
Yes.
people. Because all of a sudden, oh, wow, my man just gave me a whole 5 minutes. Now I'm like, oh, baby, where you been?
Right.
Well, where you taking,
now
right?
we're reintroducing. So it's not just about using something to max out. But sometimes we have to use other things to help. Whether
Right.
it's toys, I'm all for whatever. Bring in the toy, bring in whatever you got.
That's right.
Because sometimes sex is not just about penetration, because we keep focusing on
Not
the
sometimes,
penis.
all the time, honey.
Yeah. And
Say it loud for the people in the back.
yeah, and I think especially within let me speak on the African community, because that's what I know best. Sex is such a taboo topic. A lot of African women got sex toys, they got other things, and they're hiding it from their husband, and he don't even know.
Right. My African husband threw mine out when he found it, but go
and
ahead.
You're
the
cheating.
Men,
Huh?
You're cheating.
Oh, absolutely. I'm cheating with a plastic penis.
yes. So this is how
Rubber, whatever they're made of. Go ahead.
African men relate to sex toys. Instead of them looking at it as a stimulation that, you know, help the relationship,
Right.
they look at it as, is that thing
Competition.
better than me? So you rather have that thing, but they're not understanding. Okay, let's say you came in, you did what you want. Women and men come at different times. So now you've already had your business done. What's happening with me? But if you brought in other things that will help me. I don't care how I can always say, it doesn't matter how I come, just get me there. So whether it's toys, if you go first, fine. If I go first, fine. But at the end of the day, we both need to be satisfied.
Right. Absolutely.
So
give me 1 second, because I wanted to touch on something that we didn't really, I don't feel like we got into enough. I want to make sure that everybody really understands what we're talking about. And even when we start to talk about products and medications, we first need to talk about like what actually produces an erection. How is, like, from a medical and a biological standpoint, what brings about an erection? You want to take it?
I think it's excitement
And the blood flow to
and the blood flow.
Yes.
In the right set of mind.
But I mean, just from a biological standpoint.
So when you're getting old, like when you're young, you got a lot of blood flow. Your hormones is everything. You're young. And your penis is able to keep that blood flow for a certain time, which give you erection.
So if you have blood flow, you need
It goes
blood
back.
vessels.
You need blood vessels.
So
So
you
your
need healthy
vein,
blood vessels,
because
right?
your vein in there, your vein part of that penis get weaker when you're older.
Okay.
So it can
just like every other blood vessel in your
blood
body,
vessel,
right?
and sometimes your sickness too. You're a diabetic guy, and your blood is not flowing as properly as it can.
Right.
So it goes to the penis, right? Once it goes to the penis, it has to hold that vein. That blood vessel have to hold that blood,
Right.
and that's what give you erection. But you will put in 25%, 15% comes back. So the 10% that's there, what happens? They cannot hold your erection.
It's not going to keep it.
So, and that's what the medication's for, right? That's why the Cialis and the Viagra,
Right.
it pumps that to the blood vessel,
Right.
and it stays there.
Right.
So are you just taking, so it's there now, then after you penetrate and you come, then what happens? It goes back. What happened? Do it come back right away? And that's
I
why
wish it did.
some men, and once you get older, it's kind of hard. Like when
Right.
you're younger, I can have sex, come, by the time I go to the bathroom, drinking water, I'm ready to go again.
Okay.
But when you, after 40, that's not happening again.
Yeah.
So now you have to make way for something else. You have to do some exercises. You have to do a lot of things. Again, with the female.
Erectile man.
And
Erectile man.
Yes.
Erectile man.
So, I want to get to erectile men. Like, I'm itching to get to erectile men, but I have to ask
everything
another
you
question.
talk about,
Yes.
I would, cover those on how erectile man works, because
Yes.
it actually covers what he said.
Right.
Yeah, but go
So,
ahead.
right. That's why I wanted. I'm coming to erectile men. I want to know everything about it. But I want to first, because I want to go back for a second. Now that we covered biological, I want to go back to the psychosocial aspects, right? But I don't really want to talk about the men on that one. I want to ask, and you, JJ, you can chime in on this, right? Because I'd love to hear what you think, right?
Okay.
But I want to ask how you guys think that a woman, how it's going to affect a woman psychologically, emotionally, mentally, to be in a relationship with a man that is experiencing erectile dysfunction. This is a free for all.
Talk to
Whoever
me.
starts first, jump
Talk
in there.
to me, Lannon.
I
I know this topic all too well, and I can honestly tell you, I've lived with it. I lived with it for a long time. It has a serious psychological problem on women. It affects your self-confidence. It even makes it so bad that women shuts down, that even their body cannot produce lubricant. Because when your mind is not connecting to the rest of you, the body starts to shut down.
Yeah.
And that also forces women sometimes. You see, I always say, when you see somebody going through something, don't judge them. When you hear somebody doing something, don't judge them, because you don't know the background story. A lot of the times, especially within our communities, people talk so bad about women and they did this, she's married, she's doing this, but you don't know the struggle of that woman. And we all know how powerful sex is. The question is, how long can you sustain from having sex when you're supposed to be in a relationship to be able to enjoy sex, and years is going by and nothing is happening? Eventually, I don't care how strong you are, you will buckle.
Absolutely.
Because when a man is not able to produce, guess what's happening? He's also not able to connect with you. So he's no longer telling you, you look beautiful, or he's coming around, because he too is shutting down now. The woman is feeling neglected. And what is the one thing that women love the most? Is attention and affection. So when erectile issue happens, now comes affection, is gone. Now the next thing that follows is attention. And eventually, I can put my neck on chopping board. People will lie and say, no, that is not true. Eventually, you have two options. You're either going to leave or you're going to find a solution to your problem. And many times, it leads to women straying outside of their marriage.
So do you help him fix it, or do you... Is it fixable?
Let me get
Yeah.
water.
Is it fixable?
It's fixable.
Yeah,
It's
so
fixable?
now you find out you're with a guy and he's not performing properly. He's not performing to your standard. Do you fix it or do you leave?
Okay. This is where it gets tricky, JJ. A lot of the times, we will engage our partners in a healthy way based on the nature of the relationship.
Okay.
So when I'm in love with somebody and they're in love with me and my husband treats me well, and I know that he has been a great husband to me, right? Now, all of a sudden, we have this marital issue. A lot of the time, women will work with their husbands, but it really starts from what type of relationship they
You guys have for you to be
prior the
comfortable
issue.
enough to come talk to me.
Because if you've been calling me out of my names, you've been beating me, you've been cheating on me, I've already disconnected. So your penis not working. It's just pushing me down even further. So the only solution in my mind, why do I even have to take this?
Okay.
Because you hear, and I'll speak from it was always, this other woman would do this. But the question is, what have you poured into me to be able to withdraw? And when I could no longer give in,
Just leave, right?
I did.
Wow.
Do I feel guilty? Absolutely not. Because I did not just walk out.
You tried.
I tried. In fact, I lasted 7 years prior.
7 years.
That's
7
how
I don't
years.
even think that's healthy.
7 years.
I don't-
I
think it's
because I
healthy
lost
for-
my mental self
Yeah,
in the process
absolutely.
because
that don't even sound right. 7
I
years.
was not staying because I wanted to stay. But when you have children, and that's why many times we really have, it's a lot that goes with this thing, because it doesn't just affect the marriage, it affects the children. And that is the ultimate,
Affect the whole as a whole.
downfall.
Well,
Can I
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Can
baby.
I talk about? So she has spoken about when the relationship is on the verge of breaking, there is really no healthy communication, right? But how about the relationship that has a healthy relationship? What should the man do and the wife be supportive? So in that's why healthy communication is very important, because if the marriage is at the verge of breaking because of whatever circumstance that may be, there's not going to be that conversation. The man is going to withdraw, the woman is withdrawing, nobody knows what is happening. But when there is peace in the home, and you know your husband is suffering from ED, erectile dysfunction, right? There should be a conversation, a healthy conversation between the two couple. And it's hard for the men to participate in this conversation. Like I said, it takes away their demeanor. It takes away the masculinity in them.
It's the ego.
The ego, thank you. It takes that away. But as a supportive wife, you can encourage your husband to have that conversation.
So what's going to be the communication? Give me an example how you're going to approach your husband.
Wait, no, hold on one second. Hold on
go
one
ahead.
second before we do that, because we're straying away from the original question, which kind of ties into what you were saying, which was, how does this erectile dysfunction really affect the woman?
Right.
So if you have a man that's having erectile dysfunction, and he's not really communicating that to the woman, right? Really getting down to and letting her know, like, this is an issue. This is a chronic problem.
She's gonna know. I don't think the man can communicate.
No, wait, I'm coming.
You can feel it. You can tell.
I'm coming. Obviously, you can feel it and you can tell. So when you do address it and you ask, I'm going to say with almost a 90% accuracy, that man is going to say, it's you. It's something that you're doing. You're not loving me enough. You're not pretty enough. You gain too much weight, because his own ego won't allow him to accept that maybe there's something internally going on in him. So when that happens, now I'm broken down. So how do I take my broken down ego?
And that's why she's saying a healthy relationship. You have to communicate with your partner.
You cannot infer blame. So the husband that is suffering, and both of us in the relationship, we know we are suffering with this. So you don't infer the blame on your wife. You have to be like a man encouraging husband as well to be bold enough to have a conversation with your wife, because then when you do, then you have solutions. You can bring now. Good relationship is not. I know everybody likes sexual intercourse. We like the penetrations, but pleasure, romance. There are other things that you can talk together and introduce in the bedroom that both of you can have sexual satisfaction. But one person cannot just say, "Oh well, I'm not having this satisfaction for my husband. I'm going to go find this toy and keep it and hide it." Yeah. It has to be mutual.
Healthy communication.
It has to be mutual, because then when you do that, the husband will think it's like a betrayer. Because if you know what is going on with your husband and you are not bringing that having that conversation, and then go silently having some other things that you know will benefit both of you in the bedroom, just have the conversation. And then
that sounds good on paper, man.
Let me say something to Maddie.
Because absolutely, and then
because there are men, I interact with a lot of men. Right, there are men who accept, who can accept. They can go with their wife and buy the best sex toys that they like, that they can enjoy, that they want in the bedroom.
Do you think that that's more common than not? Especially
no.
So especially in the African community,
it's not more common. And I'm talking about African men, right? I'm talking about African men who have the awareness.
Okay, hold on 1 second, Maddie. I got you. But I want to, because and then after I say this, I want her to answer this question, and then I know your tongue is itching. You got a question, right? And JJ, I need to hear from you. But I want to talk to your average man of color. I want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to this progress, because they good. Those men that are able to walk into that sex store with their woman, they got it covered. They don't need to hear from us, right? A 45-year-old, man suffering from erectile dysfunction. What do you want to say to him?
So if you are a young man that is suffering from erectile dysfunction, who is married or who is in a relationship, this is what I encourage every man to do. Take up on yourself, throw away that ego, bring the conversation tonight. Okay, if you are listening to us, bring that conversation tonight to your wife. Tonight. Do not defer this.
Delay.
No delay. Bring that conversation into your bedroom and have the conversation how you can make it better. Okay. You have to accept what is going on with you. So it's all about acceptance of the man, right? You have to accept that this is a problem. Right. And it's affecting my wife. Right. But if you have a conversation, then both of you can bridge that. You can have romance. You can have touchy. There is a lot of other things that you can introduce that can cause relaxation and satisfaction, right, and doesn't cause separation or divorce. Okay. So if you are a young man who is married, bridge that
Maddie,
communication.
I said briefly,
it's
girl.
Healthy.
I said briefly.
Healthy communication.
All right, I got you. You feel very strongly about this topic.
I do.
All right.
Because I want to encourage our black men to be open-minded to their wife, because you cannot let a relationship break because of sexual satisfaction to your wife.
Right.
When you have the problem. When you put your ego high up, you lose what you actually want.
Okay, Maddie.
You lose it.
Maddie.
Yes.
Get some water, girl. Drink some water.
You know, when we address this issue as far as communication, we also have to understand the culture that we come from. When it comes to sex in the African culture, it has been such a taboo to talk about sex, period.
To other people, right?
Even
with your husband,
we
and your wife.
come from a background that sex is considered to be done only at night, only in hiding. So the comfort level surrounding sex has not been in the African community.
Somebody say you never seen your parent kiss, but they got 20 kids.
You.
Yes. Right. Like how that happened.
Yeah, that happened. You never see them
That's true.
hold hands, but they have a lot of kids.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Yeah.
So that is the first issue. And then we're looking at the changes that has happened within our African community. We have migrated now to a different culture. That sex is such a big part of the American culture. And guess what's happening? The women are moving a lot faster than the men are catching up. So what's happening in our relationships? It seems like the women are asking for more, and the men are like, oh, what did you learn that? Who have done that? When a woman come to her man and say, this is what I want, instead of him listening and saying, what can I do? He first attack her. Where did you get that?
Research.
Thank you. Well, they don't think about research. They think somebody have done it to you.
It's your little American friend.
Yes. So they think that now you're being loose. And really, in African culture, a lot of the time when people are bold about their sexuality or their sexual preference, they look at you to be a prostitute. You're from the streets. You this. And it puts people in the place to shut down and cover up. And I would say a lot of women suffer in silence, that they don't even have the comfort level to tell their husband where their G-spot is because they don't feel comfortable.
But most women don't even know their own body. Like most African women don't know their own body. So it's hard to just tell your husband or your partner where your G-spot is.
Don't say most African women. I think most women in general.
Most women. And when it comes to orgasm, most women don't even reach to get to orgasm. So like you said, you are right. Most women are just afraid or shy or afraid to have that conversation with their husband.
And it rather came from the stigma. So women are not even taking the opportunity to explore their own body, which I highly encourage. Please spend some time with yourself. Women don't explore their body because they think masturbation those in religious, they think masturbation is a sin. So women don't explore their bodies. So it's hard to even, if you don't know your own body, you can't tell a man where what your sensation or your pleasure lies. You just cannot do it. But that's why we are here throwing light on this. So every man that is suffering from ED, or every woman that is shy or is not able to have that conversation with their husband, if you are listening to us, you should take that bold step and have this conversation, because sex, romance, is a whole big ball in relationship. If you cannot give that, if you cannot enjoy it, then your relationship is verge at breaking. And if you love each other, you don't want one stupid ego to make you lose someone that you really love.
Okay, so hold on one
second.
The penis in the house is real quiet over there in the corner. I want to hear from the penis.
Yeah. So what was the question again?
All right. So this is what I want to ask you. So we're talking a lot about women, and I asked you how can we approach our men if we're experiencing these problems. So what do you say to the man whose woman does come to him with that problem? Any advice?
First of all, the communication got to be very respectful when you come into me about me less than 1 minute.
I ain't asked you that, JJ.
It shouldn't come in.
I said,
it shouldn't come.
How should you respond?
It shouldn't come. I'm gonna
you
respond.
Keep wanting to bring it back
I'm gonna respond based on what you coming to me with.
Okay.
If you bring it with disrespect, my response is gonna be disrespectful.
That's interesting.
If you come up and say, we are arguing and say, you're a 1 minute man, get out of here. That means you're not bringing it properly. That means you're not properly communicating.
I don't think that's where a lot is coming from. Because now we're in a fight.
Yeah, right. Now we're in a fight, so you're not communicating everything. But if you come and say, you know that you're not getting satisfied, right? You know exactly. You know me. I wasn't like that before.
Right.
You understand, right? So something must have been going in my head that's why I'm doing this, or that's why I'm not lasting. That's why I have ED. Because ED can be temporary, it can be long lasting. If it's long lasting, I need help. Baby, I see you used to last 30 minutes.
Yo, the way he just looked at me and said, baby.
Yeah.
Baby.
What happened?
I get some water. don't be doing that, JJ. Look over here talking about something, baby. Yeah. Go ahead. I'll be collected. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Baby, right?
You saw what he just
like,
did.
Baby,
You know what he's doing.
Like, baby, come on.
Yeah,
you used to last 30 minutes. What happened? What's going on with you? Do you have a problem?
Right.
Is there anything bothering you? Are you stressing out work? What's going on with you? Now you're 1 minute man. Don't even put 1 minute man. Just say, no, you're not lasting. What's going on? Can we go see a doctor? Can we go see a doctor? Now you need to go see a doctor. You understand, right? So you have to show that support.
That's
right.
true.
Let's go see a doctor.
That's what I'm talking about, JJ.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hold on 1 second before you go there, because I'm not going to let him get away with what he just did. Because I asked you a very specific question.
Yeah, I did, right?
And no, you didn't. So I'm going to ask it again. I want to make sure you understand it before I jump up
for the men.
Seat. I want to know, because you just again told us how women should approach
be accepted. Be acceptance. Accept it.
So when I
come to you
and I say, baby, I say all of that you just said. Now.
Put the ego aside.
Okay.
Because you know that's your problem. Every man know that's the problem. Don't deny the problem.
Right.
If it happened to you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you need help.
Right.
Right? If your wife or your partner come to you, you need help. You got to accept it.
Right.
With an open arm. Oh, she's trying to be with me. That's why she want me to last longer, not leave me. So you should understand that, she's trying to help this relationship.
Right.
She's trying to help me as a person, get my self-esteem back. Now she want to leave me. Because a lot of African men, if you bring it to them like that, they're mad. They're getting angry with you, right? Because you've brought it to the open.
Well, JJ, I would say sometimes, the woman don't say anything until there is a little quarrel. And that's how they want to throw that
into it.
That's a good point.
And then, so that's not a good way of communicating what your man need. If you are not having satisfaction,
so be
let them know in a peaceful
that.
environment.
It's a, like that she said, it's a taboo. It's a taboo. So be able to accept it.
Okay, so listen, guys. I don't want us to leave here without getting into this product.
Right.
So, I'm going to give you the stage. I want to know what's in these little bags, boo. Tell us.
That's everything you need.
Okay, honey. Lay it on us.
That's the whole system.
Okay.
So, as I stated before, Herbalsnip really started with me. My desire to lose weight, wanting to feel healthy, wanting to get my self-esteem back because I was really feeling it. I love fashion. I love to get dressed. But
we see, honey. Gorgeous. Go ahead.
Thank you. But not having the opportunity to wear the things that I wanted to wear. Because a lot of the times we wear clothes because that's what covers us. But are you actually dressing? Because the way that you appear in the morning, when you wake up, you get dressed, it really sets the tone for the rest of your day. And as a long-standing beautician, I've been in the beauty industry for almost 20 years. And beauty is everything. When we look good, we feel good. But we've also forgot that beauty does not start from the outside.
Absolutely.
It starts from the inside. And when your inside is not okay, Now the outside can't even be good. So Herbal Slim is a complete system.
Okay.
We see all this movement with the whole weight loss, the Ozempic craving, all of these things. But one thing that I can tell people is, what is the side effect of those products long term? These products, they're only targeting one part of your weight loss process. When I started retailing this product after I lost 20 pounds in my first 30 days, and I posted my picture, people thought that I had gotten my body done.
I want you to repeat that. I want our
20
listeners to
pounds.
20 pounds, y'all. And how long?
In 30 days.
Okay.
And people say, is it that unhealthy way to lose weight? No. The reason why this system is different, because Herbal Slim don't just target your one-dimensional weight loss. It targets your entire system.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is weight gain works in two different categories. What we take in and what we put out.
Okay.
So when you come to your Ozempic and all of those other things, they're suppressing your appetite. Yeah.
Now your hair falling out.
What's happening to your digestive system,
Right.
which is the biggest part of, and when I say that, I can't say it enough. This is not just about weight loss. Let me just put it out there. This product is really about changing your health.
Okay.
Because this product really focuses on your gut health to the point that people who have high blood pressure, diabetes, acid reflux, all of these gut issue, severe gas, bloatiness, the response has been crazy. I have people who have literally changed their ANC level from diabetes because of this product.
Okay.
How about the ED one? You
We'll
you
get
ever
to
heard?
that because that's what led us to the ED.
So let's talk
Yeah.
about the ED one because
Yeah.
I want to make sure that you get an opportunity to get that in there.
Yes.
And
Did-
then after you tell it, because we don't have all night.
Yeah, we got
I
5
wish
minutes.
We did.
We got 5 more minutes.
And then after you thank you, JJ.
Thank
and then after you tell us about the ED product, I want you to make sure you tell the listeners how they can get these products. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So to the ED product, it started from the weight loss journey and looking at the impact of it on men when men gain weight. That's really where this product came from me. But I was looking out for my sisters because at the end of the day, when we're not satisfied in the bedroom, then what happens? So I was like, we can tweak, we can add a little bit of something. So,
Anybody call you yet and say it worked?
oh yeah. And let me just put this out there, JJ. I don't put anything on the market that I personally don't put the test. Okay.
Okay. You heard it.
How does it work? How do you use it?
Yes. So we talk about blood flow, which is a big part of. I'm not in the medical field, so I'm not gonna act like I'm a doctor. And on all of my product, the description is right there. But blood flow is what really helps men to stay up. And that's where this product comes in.
Okay.
It helps promote healthy blood flow, but it doesn't just raise the blood, right? Then we're going to come quick either way. But it also keeps the tip of the penis to restrain from coming quick. And it gives, because I ask questions.
So it is drinking it or?
Yes, it's just
I'm going to try it.
4 tablespoons.
Okay, so it is.
30
That's what I
minutes,
was asking.
yes,
Like, if
it's 30 minutes
drinking.
before action. So when you know your wife coming home or your lady friend coming over, 30 minutes before time, get your body ready.
Okay.
By the time she gets there, you're already ready.
What if
And
you
how
drink
can
it and you don't
hold on
have
one
luck?
second.
And she
Hold on
said
one
no.
second, Maddie.
You don't find luck.
Hold
Well-
on. No, wait.
What effects will it have
Maddie,
on the
drink some more
husband?
water.
Keep drinking water.
Drink some more water. How can our listeners get this product?
To talk to me directly if you have questions or what have you. You can call my personal phone, which is 763-333-6802. Or on my Facebook page, you will see my number in every way to contact
You want
me.
to give them that number and that
The number is 763-333-6802. And on all of the products, whichever one you get, my number is also listed. So if somebody buys something and they're not sure, they can just turn the bottle around. Number is right there. You can call me.
Okay.
So I want to make sure that people can reach me. Just
Okay.
don't call me at 12 midnight because sometimes people call.
All right. Well, great. So that brings us to the end of our segment. This was a hot topic. And I want to thank all of our listeners and our viewers for joining us this evening. And I want to thank my very capable, very good looking a panel of folks for joining us this evening.
Thank you, Luna.
And listen, JJ, listen.
Thank you,
You hung
Luna.
in there. You the
I
only
got to.
penis in the room.
He hung in there.
And you just hung
And
in
he
there.
pulled
Yep.
it up.
Yep.
He
You held up
pulled
your
it
end of
off.
the bargain.
He
So
pulled
it
thank
off.
you so much, everybody,
Cheers.
and have a good
Let's
evening.
give it up for JJ.
All right.